the sun rises, we are doing stuff and things. Specifically, just a general upper day. We got a unique situation coming up here. The Detroit Pro, which is happening. Today's what? Thursday? Yeah. So Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday will be the big day. So I'm frankly quite hyped for that. And literally like last year at this time, I was doing expo things and stuff. Now, mind you, I'm not filming that right now, but I'm probably gonna throw in some clips from tomorrow's shift where I will be, training, because the last company I worked for, done with them, moved on with a different one. And yeah, so starting off with pull downs today. The plan I have of action will be kind of pull down day, or no, not pull down day, but upper day, lower day tomorrow, then upper day, which will land around Detroit Pro Day, which will be awesome because theoretically I'll be working or lifting with a good bud of mine, good old Max. So gotta see what that's looking, but for the time being, we gotta add some weight to this sucker and get pumped. Also, this is technically my first official sauced up lift I'm recording, so that's fun too. Okay. Alrighty, so we're starting the day off right. 4 plates, if I can get on the camera right, for a pull down. And to be transparent, one thing I definitely noticed is well, not even really noticed, but I don't know, maybe strength is up. It's been a while since I've hit like a, proper kind of upper day thing, but there's one thing I can tell you. Blood pressure feels unfortunately a little high, so we're gonna have to really ease it out and make sure everything is peachy. So let's just quickly just the height of this, because I'm not that tall. And from there, strap it, nail it. Also, 4 plates might be a bit much. I kind of test repped it before. This could be interesting though. Let's see what maybe we can do. Okay. Oh God. Okay. Yeah, definitely a bit much, but that's fine. Kind of drop set it lightly. Alrighty, run it back. Whew. Boom. Then it's also kind of like a behind the head thing, so it's nice. A lot of pull down machines, people can turn to row variations. I like kind of leaning too far back. I like these ones that kind of force you to stay upright that are machines. So, pretty cool. Also just in general, just some more unique equipment around here that I'm very hyped to check out over the next couple of days. Like this one, hammer strength ISO behind the neck pull down thing. So that's pretty nifty. So probably one more solid set of this sucker. Then we'll scout out a fun chest thing to do. And we got 3 1/4 with wider angle, because why not, take up the space, make it more cinematic. Something of that nature. I'm hyped, this is awesome. Oh no, again. My soul. We got Dave Matthews on now too. I'm gonna drop set the sucker because all I gotta is be careful. These last couple days, admittedly what I'm supposed to be doing right now, powerlifting training, but after doing that for even like a week, it's just not the type of training that I enjoy, for one, and two, I'm more my usual thing that I go to is a Planet Fitness, and I have a lot of free ways to do powerlifting there. So after some brief consideration, I'm probably gonna cease that and go back to, my baby. What I, enjoyed doing in the beginning in the first place. Here we go. Okay. That's good enough. Like 4.5, 5. Hey, low reps, do them hard. And push. We're pushing. I'm ready. Now, 2 plates, 10 pounds each side. Last time I did any kind of bench thing, kind of sucked. So the goal is to have this suck a little less. Because if I got it recorded, it was really unfortunate. It was like 6 reps of 185, but I was dead, so it is what it is. It's been a very reliable movement I've been hitting.
What helped me on this one? Put it about neck height.
We'll call that good.
Instead of, I'm going with that. That's really this.
Mixed feelings, but you know, it is what it is. And now we are on to, well, rows. Because even though I would say my back is a stronger part of my physique, it needs to be even stronger. So this is what we do for that specifically. And I gotta say, I got 2 plates. It's like an Avenger row machine. And I get like, receiving. Definitely caught me off guard. And I have mixed feelings because like the handles you can't see, but they like rock, so we'll see. The beginning movement's really heavy, so this could be good. This might not be. I guess I'll have to. I'm thinking for this one, maybe just a hard 1 is what I'm feeling, possibly. Something like that. So like a hard 1 of these, and we'll just do some general other arm stuff afterwards. And it's really all I can think of for today, I guess. I don't know, shorter day, and I'm okay with that. Whew. Yep. Now the hard part, actually strapping into this thing. Whew. I might have to do 2 just to show you guys the angle of this thing. Whew. Oh God. Well, another machine just opened up. That was a good warm-up. This is just, I don't necessarily like the feel of this one that much. Alrighty, different row machine, which will be nifty enough. So, main thing here is going to be the back shot of what I was doing, kind of, sort of. So we'll do that, and then, I don't know, maybe find something else. I might do a high to low variation or thing, and then save the 1 set of this thing for later. As in later, I mean save it for what would be Sunday. Yeah, save it for Sunday. No, it would be saving it for Saturday. I don't know, we'll see how I feel after 1 set, and then we'll go from there. Here we go. Full stack of this thing. Cybex machine with a plate and a quarter. Oh God. Okay. Okay. And now to triceps. I totally did a thing of dumbbell shoulder presses just because it felt like it. Did not record. So that's also on the list of things I did. But now time for this. Oh, golly. Whew. Okay. All right, other side. Okay. That's like probably 4 or 5-ish each. Body dysmorphia is kicking in really hard right now. That's okay though, we work through it. Like from triceps to biceps and one of the like smallest bicep things I've ever kind of witnessed, but that is fine by me. A lot of lean, but that just means there'll be a lot more tension, even though I do look a little sillier by having to lean so far forward. That's fine though. Alright. I grabbed these, I didn't quite do a rep yet, so let's see if this is a good weight for me. That's the longest rep of my life. Wow, that full body pump after that is nuts. And to wrap up today's little exertion, we are ending on a lateral raise machine. Admittedly, this is going to be definitely a couple RIR before failure, reps in reserve, just because I'm probably going to end up wanting to do lateral delts again on, what is it, Saturday, for the sake that, well, I want my lateral delts to help me look wider and get them pumped, so it's kind of, well actually, how much of this can we go? Put it at 150, shall we? Okay. Okay. Alright, ready? Well, 150. We'll just kind of rock it from there. Oh, God. Or not. Oh, Jesus. Okay, these things always nerf me. That's okay. Alright, probably 100 is going to be a fair swing. Or, okay, well, maybe 130 is a sweet spot. Okay, this is like one of the worst reps of all time, or sets of all time, but that's okay. This is some nice blood flow, nothing too crazy. That about does it on all honesty, so. Probably the most anticlimactic way I could have ended this, but that's fine. Try it now, time to try to find a place to pose down. And the best option we have today for just on-site pose down is the bathroom, which I should have saw it coming, to be honest. Pretty unusual spots. And that's okay. Feel pretty good. For a second, the pump felt amazing, but as we went on, it felt less awesome, so work with that how we do. And yeah, let's just hop right into this sucker. So that we had a couple days of binge eating because I shot this 171 yesterday. We have other things to do about, so let's not mind that a little bit better. It's gotten a little sticky. Don't know how to necessarily feel about that one. But yeah, fitness, hotel, fitness center, fitness what center? AO. Fitness what and who center? Okay, we're done with the jokes. But yeah, late night cardio, I would be amiss to be like, yes, I did everything in a timely manner. I got done with the gym. I ended up flying. I'm now raising up. Oh, actually, you know what? Not too terrible. Usually when I do any kind of incline on stuff like this, what will end up happening is it just gets a little bit too tall, and then this whole screen's kind of in the way. So I'm happy that it's not as in the way as I'm used to it being. So the big thing there, it being late night cardio, I ended up going to the grocery store, grabbing a couple things. And those couple things, kind of what dragged on. I love walking around in a grocery store. It is one of the best simple pleasures I have in my life. Because what's not to love about grocery stores? You know, if there's one really great thing to come from capitalism, in my opinion, it is the variety, you know, or the illusion of variety and options based on how you look at it. But regardless, I kind of view it from the lens of even if you do a good thing with bad intentions, you still did a good thing. So even though, there are options and variety, but it may still be owned under, one giant mega corporation, it's still options and variety, just under that, giant corporation. So that's my take on that one. Not that anyone was asking, but that's kind of how I view that whole ordeal. And it was nice because, we just walked around, looked at possibly getting some new supplements because, as I kind of mentioned, I felt my blood pressure being a bit high. The goal is to kind of get the heart rate up a little bit doing this, to which it kind of, calms up a little bit. I've been trying to cut a little bit more. I don't know if I'm going to cut this just because it might not have really fit too well in the actual lifting portion of today's video, but I got up to the 170s accidentally after being 165 for a bit. So it wasn't like a crazy gain. And, stress, lack of sleep, there was a fair bit weighing on it as well. And, we just kind of opened my eyes. It's like, we can't be doing this. We can't be hitting numbers that we don't plan on hitting, especially when, you're doing what I'm doing, which is a little bit, unnatural per se. That's just not safe. And there's one thing I'm trying to be whilst doing this whole thing is safe, is smart, because, I want to be able to live and tell the tale of, I did this once, and it all went perfectly fine and amazing. But that, if I'm not smart, might not be the case. So we're working to make that happen. And because I kind of spent a fair bit of time looking at different supplementations and things that could, help alleviate some of the blood pressure stuff and things. And, magnesium glycinate, something like that. But I'm just in magnesium. I gotta find some online dealer or something to kind of help alleviate that stuff a little bit. But also, I need to watch my sodium. I need to watch, how much I sleep, the quality of said sleep. I also need to watch my stress. And in general, just caffeine intake, if I didn't mention that. No more energy drinks for me, or at least full ones in a day. I gotta, at least whilst it feels elevated, I gotta keep it to around like 100 a day. 100 milli-vanillis of it too. But yeah. So now what tomorrow will bring me is another day at home show, which will be fun. I have a better kind of feel. It's been a bit since I've been to a home show. So that'll be kind of fun to get in on and just really go crazy and all that fun stuff. Get some leads and hopefully have those leads buy some showers. So really nuts stuff we got going on there. Whew. I'm going to start sounding a little winded, unfortunately. Not because I'm necessarily unhealthy. I just have been lacking on cardio. I've been slacking hard because I've been up and I've been dilly and dallying. But the thing is, why not just dilly and dally whilst doing cardio? That is the question. And that's something I just need to do more. Like when I find myself scrolling or texting or browsing or something, just get my butt on a walking pad or something. But what will be nice is I'll be on my feet a fair bit these next couple of days. Detroit Pro on Saturday. Very stoked. And, I can't lie. I was worried about the Detroit Pro for a second. Just because, there are people that I know that are going to be there that don't like me. And that's okay. That happens. You do stuff, you make mistakes. It's whatever. But I let that get to me. Then I thought about it for more than 2 seconds. I'm larger and leaner. And, larger, okay, but the leanness and the largeness together might just be better. But no, in all actuality, I'm just a human. I'm a human doing human things, and I don't know, you gotta think about it from my perspective, if I were to have done, the things that I were to have done were done to me, how much would I care? Not that much, in all honesty. But that's me, I guess the ability to there's levels to this too. Because admittedly, what did I do? Kind of talked, was a little disrespectful to one person, is what I did. The other person, I just kind of was myself and they don't like me because of that. That's fine, can't really do much there. But the other person, I was very much arrogant. Very much you suck. And, to be upset about that, I get it, If someone came up to me or on the internet was this guy's terrible, I'd understand that. But also I'd want to understand why, is my big thing. Because, admittedly, I've done things that have ticked people off. I get that. But what about those things has angered you or ticked you off? This other guy, I simply, word of mouth from other people, and also just my own kind of perceived experiences, performative, just maybe didn't seem like the most genuine human being ever. And it had reached a level of success. And, we're acting, I think, a little too high and mighty. So I decided to make myself feel high and mightier, climbed up on my little pedestal, my little soapbox, and tried to beat the other guy down. It did nothing. Because the way we gotta look at life, is everybody will be successful, or can be successful, being themselves. The world is truly big enough for all 8 billion of us. And the idea of then climbing on your own little soapbox and trying to beat other people down, our soapboxes are so spread out from each other. My soapbox is right over here. The other guy's soapbox right in the corner of the room. I can't reach him. So my attempts of doing anything other than trying to build up my own soapbox, meaningless. Doesn't do much of anything. At least in my current stature, my current state of things. To go after someone else on the soapbox, stupid. So, Like, nothing really happened from it, to be honest. Other than I got to vent and make my feelings known, which something else was accomplished there for me. To be myself, to express my opinions the way I feel about them, is a skill. It's something a lot of people can't do for fear of rejection, for fear of, repercussion. I get that. But I've learned to be so oblivious that I don't care anymore. And obviously, not caring to the point of like what I will call being an absolute douche to other people chronically, and chronically being a butt wipe. But I'm not going to necessarily like restrain myself strictly for the benefit of others. If doing, it's hard to slice this because face value, the idea of acting in your own self-interest, selfish. But in the same vein, what do we have if not ourselves? So the way I like to view it is, yes, I like helping people around me. But in that same vein, I also like when helping people around me helps myself in some way. And I'm a firm believer of the idea like there is no such thing as like a purely good deed, unless what you're doing ends up, ruining your life or ending your life in a kind of, way. Because if you do a deed that can be perceived as good by others and is perceived in general as a good thing, that in a societal kind of lens is elevating you to some certain place. And it might not be, because the thing about intention does not matter. By doing something, good for others, you are in a way elevating yourself within the general social zeitgeist of the culture, the thing you're in. Henceforth, if you can live after that good thing you did, you in a way have elevated yourself. The intention is selfish. No, selfless was the intent. But what comes across is still selflessness, but there's some self-gain. So how selfless was it? It's, but then there's the whole thought process of like, to do a good thing, with negative intent behind it is still a good thing. So we have a lot of different contrary thought processes on this. So it's just interesting to think about. But moral of the story, like, I'm gonna live life, gonna do my best to help others, because obviously that's something that should be done. I feel my best when I'm trying, or at least helping others actively. And yeah, just trying to make my own way in the world. And I feel like it's a little bit, delusional in a sense to be like, you should never be selfish. Because, I don't know, the longer I go about this, my own thought process will only work for me. Admittedly, this is not probably the most comprehensive or like best way to kind of, read into who is Trenton, what is his deal. But, moral of the story, I'm just gonna go out, I'm gonna have a great time. Because that's my big thing. Like, I'm gonna go there, gonna try to make some connections. Gonna try to be jacked and cool. And like, because there are gonna be people there. Because, in the Michigan bodybuilding scene, I'm somebody. I'm a small somebody, but I'm somebody. And, we're gonna expand. We're gonna get bigger and better. Emphasis on bigger. Better? I don't know. We'll see next time I step on stage. Which, and I don't know if I've addressed this yet, but it's gonna be way farther out than I initially anticipated. Because that simply is how the cookie will crumble. Because, I got over a fear of needles and now I'm feeling way more lively. Taking stuff that kind of artificially boosts your confidence in a sense, like, it's gonna do stuff. And, I've just been feeling more confident in myself, and I've been thinking about it. The whole Martin Fitzwater thing happened. Martin Saltwater, Martin, whatever you want to call it, his little act against Nick. He released a whole apology. It was the most like, my mom told me I had to apology ever. Like, no apology to Nick. So many references to I, me, I should have, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know, it just came across as self-centered as the actions that happened backstage at the Arnold Classic and on stage. So, you know, it's a step in the right direction, but unfortunately Martin has lost a fan, which, a couple actually, but I don't know. Until I see like sincere change, I just don't want to support the guy. I don't know. And, you know, who am I? That's the big thing here. It's like, I make this content, I say all this stuff. Who am I? I'm not much of anybody, and that's okay, because I can still, you know, form myself into whoever I may want to be. And that's the cool part about, you know, growing up. You know, trying to strive and trying to succeed. You get to kind of make the mold as you go along, you know? Obviously there comes a point where that mold is nearly completed, but then again, you can always make a new one. And yeah, you know, so with feeling more confident, it's easy. You definitely see how easy it is to say the wrong stuff and do the wrong things. But in the same vein, it's so obvious to like choose not to do those things. Like even if you hate a guy, which, I don't know, I don't really hate anybody. I've been thinking about this for a little bit. I have problems with people. But if they ever wanted to reach out and have a cup of coffee, gladly. Like, everyone's still human at the end of the day. And I think we forget about that because, like, I don't know. I had this interaction with the guy, you know? He's someone who, I guess, has been preying on my downfall for a while. And he was just, you know, he's on my contact info. And it just hit me because, you know, we used to be closer. We used to be pretty cool. And I was kind of panicking the entire interaction until it occurred to me, like, what does it even matter? It's not going to be someone that determines much of anything for my future. So, like, why should I care? Why do I care that much? And then I just kind of texted. It's like, hey, you know, none of this really matters, man. Gotta be real. Want to have a cup of coffee? You know, reconnect. And I referred to him as the best frenemy I could have ever hoped for. Because, like, even 2 years later, since our first big falling out, whatever you want to call it, he still stuck around. He still kept watching, and he kept hoping, you know, for more downfalls and things. And, like, you gotta applaud the dedication. And, you know, I'm like, hey, let's get a cup of coffee. Sit down and talk. No response. And that's the big thing. Like, unless you're willing to extend an olive branch, like, don't even bother, like, hating. Because what is the point of disdain if nothing can ever be done to get rid of it? Like, it's essentially, you know, working on the body of a car with no engine. There's no solid point. There's no good point in putting time and effort in something like that. So, you know, blocked him on all that I could. And, yeah, that's all you gotta do, you know? Those who really want to see you fail, just, you know, you gotta do your best to make sure they can't see you. But even then, or show them that you can succeed. And that's like another thing I've been dealing with. The need to prove the haters wrong. There are like 3 of them in the world that I know, maybe 4. But like, it's like, then what, am I doing what I'm doing for myself? I don't know. That's the big thing about myself. Like, there are certain things that I heavily believe in, and I'll be like, hey, I feel like this is the right option, the right choice, the right pathway. But if another pathway arises, and there are a couple more tulips on it, you know? The trees, the leaves of the trees, they look a little greener. I'm gonna go down the nicer pathway, you know? Granted, it seems like the better pathway to the one I'm currently on. And I analyze it, I test the dirt, I test the water, everything comes out good. Gonna change my direction. And how much of that is truly me, opposed to other people, like kind of, not like forcing me to do anything, I'm still gonna be my own person, but how much of it is truly me if in the back of my head at all times it's, I need to do this to prove these people this, or prove to these people this or that. And it's nuts, because like, there truly is no very right answer, you know? It's all just kind of up in the air, guessing. And that's why, in a sense, like, you know, all I can really do is just do what I feel is right. And I ranted about this a little bit. Epicurus. To live life in a simple way. And to enjoy the simple pleasures from life, or that's really all we got, you know? Because, like, that's really all we got. You know, if you were to live a life with any kind of dopamine, serotonin spike, is it really living? Or are we then no different than, like, you know, our barely multicellular, like, you know, evolutionary beginnings, you know? Back when we were just like a blob of stuff. And, like, I don't know. So that's why I like living for the good stuff, you know? And, you know, then you guys gotta think about, you know, I'm not gonna get into the whole death rant, but, like, you know, what happens afterwards? That's always a good question. But I'm not gonna talk about it here. But, you know, Detroit Pro, bodybuilding and stuff. Today was a really cool upper day. Kind of flew through it. But it was nice. Vascularity, obviously with my blood pressure feeling a little higher, freaking was nice. But, you know, at what cost? Whew. And, yeah, overall, it was great. Got some Diet Fago at Meijer, which is freaking cream of the crop kind of stuff. If you know, you know. And yeah, just had some chicken and broccoli before this. With some honey mustard, simple, light meal. And then walking, hopefully get things going to where I can take a nice, we'll have a nice bowel movement before bed. And then zonk the night away, get up, whip up a breakfast of some kind, and go off to work for like 6 hours. And then come back, get things ready. I gotta drive an hour away to pick up a buddy of mine, which given gas prices, I'm gonna need him to chip in a little bit, because like, it's getting up there. Like, I was so disappointed. There's this one station, I was like, oh, it's $2.99. And I was feeling really good. He was like, that's great, that's like 60 cents cheaper. And I was on Gas Buddy, you know, and I'm like, sweet. I get off, luckily the gas station was on my way to where I was heading today for work. Get off the highway, pull up, $3.60. And the worst part was, it was a recent update. Because for Gas Buddy, if you see anything over 12 hours and you notice gas everywhere is up, it's going to be up. Like, don't think otherwise. So I got duped. I got duped hard, and I ended up paying it anyway. Real rats kind of situation. But with that, I mean, just enjoying life now. I don't really, there really isn't a lot. You know, I had an interesting night the other night. Kind of took some extra supplementation per se, and like zoned out really hard. And I was just like in this cloud. And in this cloud, all my stresses and anxieties lifted up and away. And you know, I just felt this huge sense of gratitude. And like, I'm grateful that I get to go out and make mistakes. I'm grateful that I can say stuff and learn once I realize, you know, what I said was dumb. Like, everything about life, you know, there are a lot of problems with it, you know. People struggle a lot more than they should. But, you know, to fight adversity, to get over those, you know, hills we think we cannot climb, that's what kind of makes things worth living. It's kind of in the, you know, it's human nature to innovate and just try to be, you know, in a better spot than we were the day before, because that's how you survive. That's how, you know, our survival instincts have transcended. You know, though it used to be like, I need to be in Great Plains area with more mammoth meat. And now we're like, I'd like a higher salary, please. I'd like to be able to actually afford groceries. How do I do that? What do I need to do to get into a better space? Like, it's an interesting evolution. Not necessarily the best one ever, but, you know, we're always looking for a way to make life better and easier. Henceforth AI. Do we need it? No. But, you know, it's something that can make people's lives easier, but also make others harder. So it's like, it's just a lot of up in the air stuff we got going on. Like, our own natural intuition to improve the world is kind of making it worse. At least for us, you know? But also, like, I don't know, I also hate the idea of like, oh, we're destroying the Earth. The Earth is gonna be fine. Let's be real here. It's humans that are screwed, said George Carlin. I was a cynic for a long time because of that man and his comedy, but you know, now I've adopted more of an absurdist view on it all. He's like, what is it? What is this world? I don't even know. 12:21 in the morning. Yikes. But it'll be nice. I'll have 30 minutes tonight. And then head upstairs, shower up, have a little banana, kind of get some potassium in the system, take the multivitamin, take the fish oil, take the allergy meds, and just freaking live life. Whew, because that's what there is to do, and go to bed. Maybe read a little bit of a book too. I've been meaning to do that, and you know, I don't really have too much to do tonight, except maybe quickly open my laptop and get this video onto my computer to edit it later. But you know, we'll get there when we get there. We got like a minute left of cardio. I have nothing else to talk about. I ran through it all. And with that, peace out, guys. See you on the flip side.